Open Your Eyes is brought to you by the Belize Bank, our country, your bank, and Smart, bringing people together.
Good morning and welcome to Open Your Eyes.
Start your morning right.
I'm Ephrain Martinez.
And I'm Paul Lopez.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Paul.
It is Thursday, March 5th. And we have our TikTok viewers online with us right now.
We have them viewing us. They had such a good morning with us, but we do have to say goodbye to them. And hopefully they catch us over here on YouTube, on Facebook Live, or on Channel 5. So see you guys soon. Okay, try to end this live. Oh, I've gotten better at it.
That's great.
All right, but thank you all for tuning in and starting your morning right here with us on Open Your Eyes.
Yeah.
We have a wonderful show. It's good to see you on a Thursday. It's good to see you on a Thursday,
it is good
Paul.
to see you as well. There is so many things to be thankful for in a world where there's a lot of negative to talk about. Where there is a lot of circumstances that are beyond our control. There's so many things to be grateful for this morning, and so I want to encourage you all to find one thing right now to think about that you are grateful for, and it might not affect it might not change your mood in its entirety, but it places something on your heart to consider when you are facing some sort of negative experience throughout the course of the day. That little seed that you plant, that little seed of thankfulness could really do a lot to shift your mood. So I'm thankful for Uno, right?
Aww.
And I just want to say that this morning. Not really way I want to say I'm thankful for Uno. So
Paul has been so nice this morning.
Gosh.
I love this.
It.
No, see, you see, I tried just now, right in the seat. No, but it's wonderful to be positive. And honestly, sometimes, like you said, in this world, it's so difficult to try to find the light, right? And not just here in Belize, but all of the events that are taking place outside of the world and the region. So thank you for starting your morning right here with us. But we do have a wonderful show lineup, starting with Minister Thea Garcia-Ramirez is going to be here to speak on empowering women and families. It is Women's Month, and it's going to be wonderful to speak to the Minister of Gender Affairs to talk about their upcoming events and so forth. The next item we have is a walk towards prevention with the Kidney Association of Belize. That's going to be an excellent conversation to look forward to. Exporting Belizean sound with Ephrain Medina. That's going to be also, I know you guys had Coconut Boy yesterday, so we've kind of been rolling on music this week. And lastly, and just sticking to music, and of course we are winding into the Easter season, Belize Jesus Festival brings ministry through music.
Yeah, Sherwin Gardner, Positive, Heavenlies. Yeah, big concert for the church.
Did you go to the one last year, sorry?
I've been to pretty much all that they've hosted in Belize City, right? And I'm looking forward to this one just as much.
Awesome. I really, really appreciate it. I think that sometimes you just kind of need this wonderful expression of music. You know what? We also need to get into our 5 things that you need to know this morning.
All right. So the thing hot this morning, right? Grand Resort VIP prices add fuel to Ruta Maya finish line fury. I paid a visit to Grand Resort yesterday, and for the first time I was able to explore their amenities in a way that I haven't been able to do, because usually when I go there, I just go for events, and that's in their conference room on the 5th floor, right? And so we're going to talk about that. Citywide transformation plan unveiled at poorly attended consultation. Put the poorly attended consultation aside. Think about the citywide transformation plan being unveiled and the traffic headache where I could imagine already.
I do think you have to discuss the poorly attendance part.
Yeah. No, it's very important. I agree with you, April. Victim detained after being shot. Family speaks out. This is a case of alleged injustice, police misconduct in the Cotton Tree Village. We're going to talk about it. And I believe these two topics, they coincide. These last two topics, U.S. military has launched operations with Ecuador, or within Ecuador, that could be as well, targeting designated terrorist organizations, and Belize not invited to Latin American summit hosted by President Donald Trump. And so these are our 5 topics for discussion this morning.
But let's start with the hot one.
Well, we could go down the list. I feel like all of them hot, and we want to give each one of them one little bit of time this morning. Sure. Perhaps we could start with the whole idea of Grand Resort charging VIP prices to enter its establishment.
I think before we start with that sort of part of the topic, right? Because that's when I realized that everybody was, more furious than they were before when they saw this particular flyer that you're seeing here on the screen, Paul. And so listening to the length, the depth of the conversation that you had with the manager of Grand Resort, I think now people fully understand that the finale, it's not at the Grand Resort, right? It's a little bit further up, right?
It is on their compound.
On their compound, but it's a little further up.
From their building.
From their building. And so I think that their prices and so forth that you saw with the flyers, I really felt that they should have come out with a statement before the flyer came out.
And they feel that way as well.
Yeah, because I think that the minute people saw that, that was it. It doesn't matter what you say now about $10 entrance somewhere else. It doesn't matter. People saw that, and that is what they're clinging to, right? I think also it was poor PR management on their part to not say anything, or to make it straight that technically we are not hosting the finale, right? It's going to be on our shore and on our compound, but we're not hosting the finale. It's still going to be a public event. But even so, it still doesn't really combat the fact that it's a limited area. It still is on private property. You still probably won't have those vendors that you see out there at Civic that are able to go out there and sell their products. And then you can't block the bridge. And so it's still a very, very small space for that wide crowd that we normally see come out for the last day of Ruta Maya. Yeah,
so in speaking with the management yesterday, I sensed their frustration, right, with this entire thing. But here is my opinion. What the Grand Resort did is essentially welcomed a mixed bag of opinions on a controversial issue at its doorsteps. So anything they do, even if it is apart from the actual La Ruta Maya organization event, people will view it as some sort of collaboration, right? Until clarity is made. So by nature of the controversial issue that has been welcomed, or that is now at their front door, by nature of that, when they issued prices for VIP seating, etc., that also became part and parcel of the controversy, because the controversy they take place in your backyard, right? So they welcomed this sort of thing, and just by extension, their decisions became controversial. So that's one thing. I do think, however, that as a private business, they are entitled to make these decisions. By nature, businesses are established to earn income, to make profits using the services and the products that they offer, right? So in principle, there is absolutely nothing wrong with what the Grand Resort is doing. They can decide to do this. However, I do think that because of the controversial nature of what is taking place in their backyard, it was done in poor timing.
Yeah,
right?
sure.
In that the Grand Resort perhaps could have considered, make we see how this year play out, right? Make we see how we get past this controversy. Make we see how the race flows this year. And perhaps next year, when the controversy dies down and there is greater acceptance, then we could begin to introduce these packages because people are already beginning to embrace the opportunities that exist within this space and within this area. So I think there's a bit of poor timing, but they are not wrong for doing what businesses have a right to do and have a freedom to do. And I don't think that this decision is so earth-shattering that it will affect their business in any way in terms of taking business away from them or having this Grand Resort collapse. I think what we're seeing is, like you rightly pointed out, we're seeing decision making taking place in real time, right? And so where you spoke about getting ahead of the PR nightmare, that's a decision that they took, and now they have to get ahead of it in a time that is the 11th hour. So
I also think that I'm glad that it came out though, because in the back of my mind, I kept thinking about, yes, while the parking lot is big and while the resort is big, I kept thinking about where are they going to put all of these people, right? And so I'm really, really glad that they kind of settled the score as to where the finishing line will be and where their event is.
It's two separate events.
Yeah, and honestly, guys, go, don't go. It really is up to you. Like you said, the business is the one that can make those decisions, whether or not you can even afford a VIP table or just a regular table, right? And then it all depends on what you want to do that day with your family.
Yeah, so
right?
just to go over what we covered in the news last night. They're saying the $75, you pay that, and every single dollar is redeemable with food and drinks.
Yes.
Right? You pay the $600 for 7 persons. And that is redeemable, every single dollar food and drink.
Remember when you go to Grand Resort, persons go there not just for staying, but there's the casino there. People go there for the pool to take their kids, and it's a nice restaurant. So you're not just going to go and have a place to watch the Ruta Maya. There are going to be certain amenities that are granted to you. But Paul, we do have.
Well, let me just mention something else that the producer wanted us to highlight is the fact that outside of the Grand Resorts compound, these two locations, the $10 one, the $75 and $600 seating, the Ministry of Infrastructure Development has stepped in big time, and they've decided to clear the sides of the Halova Bridge where the old structure was to allow for patrons, to allow for spectators, to view the race from that location free of cost. I don't know how much that area really could hold. In my estimate, it's only a few hundred, but it's free of cost. The bridge will remain open as well, free of cost. A pedestrian walk along both sides of the bridge will remain open, free of cost, so people can view the race free of cost. But if you really want to watch the finish, like if you want the up close and personal to the finish, like you were able to do at Belcan Bridge, you will have to pay that $10 or get some binoculars and stand up on the bridge.
Have you been to La Ruta Maya before?
I grew up at a farm village.
All right. Have you seen the banks that get crowded when people?
100%.
Great. That area there, I'm looking at it. And guys, please remember, if you're going to do this, and I have to be safe, right? Look at that area. Take a very, very good look. If you clamor and crowd that area with parking, think about how you're going to turn back. Think about where you're going to put your stuff. Is there enough space to put chairs? Is it stable enough to do all of these different things? Please, please, please be careful. Just because it's free doesn't always necessarily mean it's safe. I think to give my 2 cents.
And I think, April, this is no longer a race. This is no longer a canoe race. We are seeing, and we will be seeing or looking at a protest unfold. So
yes, I
this
heard
event,
about the boycott.
Well, in its totality, because of how controversial it is, I believe that this year's Ruta Maya is no longer a race. I now dub it a 4-day on the river protest.
Do you think that paddlers will just like not race and they will just vibe?
No, they are race.
The riverbank.
They are race, but they were race vex. They going up the river vex. They going up the river with a lot of hard feelings and a lot of deep and personal feelings, and all of that part of the protest. So even participating in a sense is a form of protest.
You know
so
what bothers me about that though, Paul? And I'm going to end with this. Yeah. It's not just necessarily the work of the participants and people that actually race, but if you follow La Ruta Maya, if you start from its onset in Cayo and you follow the race all the way through all of the villages and so forth into Belize City, you'll note that it takes a lot of work to make sure that those canoe racers are hydrated, they're safe, they're eating. Every stop, they make sure that they have their blood work checked, their pressure checked, their elevated levels checked. Everything has to be checked. Some of them are given IVs at different stops. And so it takes a lot of work to ensure their safety. And if this race is no longer about the spirit and joy of canoeing, then why are we doing this?
Yes.
And that is what bothers me, because I don't think that we're taking in the health and all of the work that goes into La Ruta Maya. And I'm gonna pause.
Yeah, we'll have to leave it there because we could go on and on that topic.
But I think there is a citywide transformation along with the transformation of La Ruta Maya.
So let's touch on that briefly.
Sure.
Right. So last night we aired in our newscast the public consultation that was held in at the Belize City Civic Center, where the Belize City Council met with members of the general public, and we did say that the consultations were poorly attended. There was only a handful of residents for such a big issue, because one of the biggest things that came out of Tuesday night's meeting is the fact that both the Belcan Bridge and the Swing Bridge will be replaced essentially within the same time period. The Belcan Bridge is slated to begin construction in July, while my understanding is the Swing Bridge is slated to begin construction in November. And the Belcan Bridge is expected to be completed in November 2028, so late 2028. And the Swing Bridge is expected to be completed in early 2029. So a 3 to 4 year period for both of these projects. And the question for me is traffic control.
Oh, yeah.
And the nightmarish experience that residents will have to endure, and to some extent are already enduring with all these bridges open, especially in the morning times, and then in the evening and during midday. So I think the traffic department will really have to do their studies to see how they could curtail and manage traffic, especially during these peak traffic periods, because this is for an extended 3 years, and the only 2 bridges that will be open is the Bell China, that is within the city proper, and the Chetomal Bridge, right, that is coming from the Western or the George Price Highway. Then of course you have the Halover Bridge, but 2 bridges no longer operational in the city. It's just a recipe for traffic disaster and
not to
nightmare.
mention where the hub of Belize City is, which is like that Albert Street, and so that area. But I wanted to touch more on the fact that it was a poorly attended event, Paul,
Go
because
ahead.
I think that this is the time for citizens to come out and hear and voice their concerns. Because there was one, I think it was Lee Marchang, that asked a very important question, and I thought it was actually a very good question, where he's saying, are you going to also do constructions at night? Are you going to try your best to speed the process? Because you are going to be cutting into daytime working hours. And I think that we don't have that sort of culture in Belize where we have certain shifts for people to work at night. But if you haven't considered it yet, I do think it is something to take into consideration because it would speed up the process. But Paul, it would also open up doors for people to work in shifts. It would create more of like a balanced working environment for both traffic control and for persons that are constructing and on those areas. But I think my next biggest question, if I was living here, how would you manage your day to day? And I don't mean just school and work, right? There are certain bridges that connect you to the hospital. There are certain bridges that connect you to certain banks. There are certain bridges that connect you to, areas that are industrial that are needed on a day-to-day basis. If you are somebody that, goes home for lunch, is it not that you have to bring your lunch to work and
avoid the
ensure
traffic?
you avoid that traffic? Do you have, a microwave in your area so that you're able to do that, right? There's going to be a lot of changes, and while they may seem mundane and small in the grand scheme of things, something as simple as getting up, or even as a pedestrian, even if you don't have a vehicle, that is going to create havoc for you as well. So you have to think about all of those things.
So what we have Sher Rivera saying here, it says it was not a consultation, it was an information session,
Interesting.
informing the public and allowing questions and concerns to be voiced. And of course they gave an explanation as to why they're doing the two bridges at the same time. They're saying they don't want to lose the funds, so it's a time sensitive financial matter, and so they have to do the two bridges at the same time so that the funds remain in Belize and we don't lose it. Let's move on now to our final topic. We could touch on regional and international development with the U.S. military having launched operations within Ecuador targeting designated terrorist organizations, and Belize not being invited to the Latin America summit hosted by President Donald Trump.
For the second time, if
Well,
I may add.
Well, the thing is, April, this is an interesting one. What President Trump and the U.S. is doing is they're establishing a first of its kind Latin America Security Summit. And they're titling the summit as Shield of the Americas. It's the Shield of the Americas Summit. But it's not the entirety of the Americas that makes up this shield. And furthermore, Belize was not invited to participate in this summit, which takes place on March 7th. And we're not invited to form this shield of the Americas, if you would. So you look at the idea behind it is to promote freedom, they say, security and prosperity in the region. But based on those invited to this summit, Belize does not get a say in the decisions that are made that will likely have far-reaching effects on issues of freedom, security, and prosperity in the region. So you have countries like Bolivia that will be there, Argentina, Chile, Costa Rica, we neighbor, El Salvador, we neighbor, Panama, we neighbor, Honduras, we neighbor, Trinidad, one of the only Caribbean countries that will participate in this Latin America Security Summit. So why is Belize not invited? I think it's important to look at that, and there's two reasons why I believe Belize are not invited, right? Well, one is that this summit, when you look at the countries that are participating, these are like-minded leaders in terms of the Americas. And let me qualify that by saying, when you look at, for example, what's happening in Ecuador, when you look at what's happening in Ecuador, which is now a participating country in the summit, we saw where the U.S. began to strike these designated terrorist organizations, these cartel, drug lords, drug pushing organizations on Ecuador soil. The Ecuadorian government allowed the U.S. to come in and use their force to do that. Furthermore, we've seen just yesterday and the days before where now the Ecuadorian government is considering the Cuban ambassador and the Cuba's embassy entire staff as personas non grata without explanation. Furthermore, Trinidad is a part of this summit. When you look at how Trinidad collaborated with the United States in regional security, they put it, in terms of going after Venezuela's former president, in terms of the strikes on boats in the region as well. So I'm saying that Belize has not taken as strong as a stance on Cuba, one. In the Caribbean, the United States is also now pressuring St. Lucia to stop, for them to make a decision to stop sending students to Cuba for medical studies. They're pressuring St. Lucia to do that. Belize has not taken a strong enough stance on Cuba, on its support for Cuba, or renouncing its support for Cuba, if you would, and has not taken a strong enough stance to collaborate with the U.S. on these security issues like drug and transnational crime.
We're very neutral, quote unquote.
So we're very neutral, and that not sit well with them, and they don't want, in my view, for countries with neutral positions to participate in this Shield of the Americas Summit. So I think that is why Belize was not invited to this very decisive summit.
I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you, but I would also say that this administration doesn't really take much interest in Belize, if you will. The previous administration with Donald Trump, we did not have an ambassador to Belize. We didn't have anybody from the United States like that advocating in an ambassadorial position, because we did have the charge d'affaires and so forth, but their powers are limited to a certain degree, right? And when the administration changed, we did have Ambassador Kwan come in, and as soon as the administration changed again, we no longer had an ambassador. So I find that their interest in Belize is not there. They don't see us as, and he has said it before, countries that have potential to provide economic flow to the United States is of most interest to them. Our population doesn't do that for the United States as much. If anything, they come and they spend their monies here, right? So for me, I find it as something where they don't see us as valuable or as important, but you're absolutely right by saying we haven't taken a firm stance. And I'm not sure if that is strategic on our part of the government in the sense that you're gonna rock the boat, right? If you not rock the boat, then maybe they left we alone. But might I add that the United States during the Obama administration and during the Obama administration, they built one of the largest U.S. embassies in Central America in Belmopan. And so you have to be very, very careful how we thread in terms of being too Switzerland, if you will, right? At the end of the day, that pressure that St. Lucia is feeling, don't be surprised if they don't start to come at us if they haven't already. Yeah,
I 100% agree. So it will be interesting moving forward to see what comes out of this summit and the sort of resistance that non-participating countries like Belize, like Barbados, who has a very vocal and strong leader, what sort of resistance they will put up, and if the decisions made at this summit, how much of it will be imposed or forced upon the region, and what will be our response to that. Some people say it's sort of a divide and conquer tactic to expand America's influence across the Western Hemisphere?
Either way, I would really like to get some of your views on these topics, whether it be Ruta Maya, whether it be the United States, socio-political issues that are taking place around us. Let us know in the comment section below what you think. And of course, if there are any topics that you'd like to discuss, also drop that in the comment section below and maybe we discuss it on one of our morning chit chats. We are going to move on into our weather. Our Eye on the Weather, brought to you by the folks at the National Meteorological Service.
All right, so this is our weather update for this morning, and I brought my sunshine shirt to present the weather. People are saying I look and I come off as radiant as the sun this morning, right? So it's going to be cloudy at times today and tonight. I know a lot of people in Belize City and certain parts of the country were surprised to wake up to showers. We're going to have a few showers with a high chance of an isolated thunderstorm will likely occur around the country today, especially over the north and central areas. So even in Belize City, we heard some thunders and we saw some lightnings. That's a part of what we're explaining here. Shower activity will decrease later this evening. So be all day heavy showers, right? Then redevelop and could affect some coastal areas tonight, and then the thing will come back. So yeah, it's kind of a roller coaster of rain today. Today's temperatures along the coast is going to be 84 degrees Fahrenheit and 77 on the lower end. We get inland, we're looking at 87 degrees and 70 on the lower end, and then in the hills we're looking at 80 degrees and 65 on the lower end. So nothing go above 90. In fact, nothing even touched 90 today, and that's what we expect, right? So it seems it's going to be a really cool day. Extended forecast Friday, 85 degrees along the coast, 89 inland. That's really good temperature, especially for those considering to go and watch the start of the Ruta Maya race and follow it on that day. So really nice temperatures to be out along the river. Saturday, 86 degrees on the lower end, 86 degrees along the coast, and 91 inland. So the temperature ticks up a little bit on Saturday, and then on Sunday we have 85 along the coast and 91 inland. So it stays relatively the same. And then on Monday, 85 along the coast and 90 inland. So what I'm seeing here is we're gonna be having sort of a cool weekend, but at the same time a bit of heat. So it's a really good combination to be out on the river if you're thinking about going to watch La Ruta Maya. Marine conditions, the sea state is going to be choppy. The winds is going to blow from east at 10 to 15 knots today. Tides, today's high is at 11:05 a.m. Then we have a low at 5:45 p.m. and then another high at 11:41 p.m. and then tomorrow's low is at 5:47 a.m. Let's look at our astronomical forecast. And the moon was really huge and bright over the course of the last 2 days. I'm sure there's some explanation for that, but it was beautiful. That's what I could tell you. The sun rose this morning at 6:08 a.m. That's about an hour ago. And it's going to set exactly at 6 p.m. on the dot. The moon is going to set at 7:22 a.m. this morning, and it's going to rear its beautiful face at 8:06 later on tonight. And that does it for our Eye on the Weather, courtesy our friends at the National Meteorological Service of Belize. April, back to you.
Paul, I have to say I did not see that sunrise this morning because of the pouring rain that was happening here in both the world capital and in Belmopan. But thank you so much for that Eye on the Weather. We're going to take a quick break, and when we return, we have the Honorable Thea Garcia-Ramirez speaking on empowering women and families.
Introducing BB Insurance. Built for Belize. Your security, our priority.
Finally, a postpaid plan for 3 people. Introducing Smart Trio. Why pay for mobile service alone when you can share and save? Get unlimited national calls, texts, plus 100 gigabytes of shared data. And the best part? It's only $135. That's right, as low as $45 per person. Perfect for small families, couples, or close friends. Smart Trio. 3 lines, 1 smart choice. Sign up now and you could win a Trio getaway to San Pedro for 3. Visit us at www.smart-bz.com for more information or sign up at any showroom today. Smart, bringing people together.
What happens when you step off the edge?
Too late to back out now.
He said I'm ready. No, I'm not. And land somewhere unexpected. Sometimes it breaks you open. Wild at root,
That is very bitter.
but sweet on the tongue. Where history calls out, and you answer with open arms. This isn't just a journey. It's across borders.
That was amazing!
In the heart of the Cayo district, Calico Jacks is proving that sustainability and success can go hand in hand.
When Calico Jacks wanted to move to solar energy, the biggest difficulty for us was the finance. Belize Bank believed in our vision, and we are very happy and grateful that they gave us this opportunity for the financing.
Through the Credit Risk Abatement Facility, a partnership between Belize Bank and the CARICOM Development Fund, small and medium businesses can access financing for renewable and energy-efficient solutions with reduced collateral requirements.
Here at SCSB, we're grateful for Belize Bank to make it easy for our clients to go green. We're proud to work with businesses like Calico Jacks to help them lower their costs and their carbon footprint.
At Belize Bank, we are powering Belize's transition to renewable energy, one business at a time. Together with our partners, we're making sustainable financing accessible for all.
Belize Bank, financing a greener, stronger Belize.
Have a vision? We've got what you need. From idea to install, Brothers Habet. All your building needs under one roof.
Buenas noches, Belize. Esto es el Noticiero 5 Semanal. Soy Francela Hermoso.
Esto es el Noticiero 5 Semanal. Soy Benita Queme Palacio.
Y estos son los titulares.
Esto ha sido todo por el Noticiero 5 Semanal.
Acompáñanos nuevamente el próximo jueves a las 7 p.m.
Y síguenos en nuestras redes sociales para estar al tanto de todas las noticias en español.
Haven't updated your information recently? Well, kick off the new year as a winner. RF&G Insurance is giving you a free chance to win every month. Entering is easy. Just chat with us on WhatsApp and update your information. That's it. You'll be automatically entered into our monthly raffle for a chance to win awesome prizes. Don't wait. Message us on WhatsApp and update your info today. RF&G Insurance. It pays to get it right.
Welcome back. Thanks for staying tuned with us. This is our first conversation for this morning, and we have joining us via Zoom virtually the Minister of Human Development, Families and Gender Affairs, Honorable Thea Garcia-Ramirez. Minister, good morning. It's a pleasure having you this morning.
Good morning to you and everyone else watching and tuning in. My apologies for not being able to make it in person this morning.
Well, that's no problem. We'll forgive you this one time because every other time you've made an effort to be here. So we appreciate that. We want to spend some time speaking about Women's Month and the issues that confront women in Belize to this day. But let's start briefly with what is the focus for you and your team this time around where Women's Month is concerned?
Well, Women's Month is really a celebration of women living in Belize, really trying to ensure that they have maximum visibility for all they contribute to Belize, to the economy, what they contribute to our families, to our communities, in terms of culture, in terms of arts, in terms of just everyday lives. Women are amazing in that even the smallest contribution is so much, and collectively we are half of this country, and we, I believe, need to be recognized for all the things that we do, and all the things that we do all at once. Many of us are out there being mothers, heads of households, sole breadwinners, and we are also the ones that take on a lot of the caregiving for children and for elder people. Some of us, while we're doing that, we're also studying. You manage a family, you study, you try to better yourself professionally and personally. So women do a lot for this country, and we want to shine a spotlight on them because I believe that a lot of times people just overlook and take for granted all the things that women do for this country. And so we want to also, in this case, this year, balance the scales. We still have a gender gap in this country. We still fall behind when it comes to leadership positions in certain sectors. We still are not represented equally in the labor market. There's a lot of barriers still, and so we want to shine a light on that and say, let's balance the scales, let's make it happen.
Minister, you are now in a ministerial position where you can change policies and have our voices be heard at a table where not many of us have that opportunity. What are some of these key policies that you believe perhaps need revised that would maybe balance these scales, as you put it?
Well, certainly I don't work in isolation. I work as a part of a team. That team is called Cabinet. The government certainly has, and I have to say, the government and my cabinet colleagues certainly have not only my back, but but the backs of all women, and they're really concerned, as am I, in trying to revise. And so we have the gender policy, 2024-2030. And so we are guided by that policy, and that policy was just brought on. And that sort of is the guide and the framework under which we are all working. As there are many things, for example, it's not only policies through my ministry, or the ministry which I lead, but for example, things that have been happening recently, and recently for government can go back 1 or 2 years, because it takes that long for something to be formed, to be consulted, and to be passed as a policy. But for example, under that policy, you could put the fact that the minister and Ministry of Health and Wellness has decided not to charge, at least up to the community and regional hospital level, a lot of their primary health care initiatives. For example, recently, and people may not connect the dots, but recently, when you have a baby, whether by C-section or by natural birth at the Orange Walk Northern Regional Hospital, you don't have any charges whatsoever. And that is important. Why is that important, particularly for women? Looking at it from that lens, is because a lot of women don't have money to pay those fees. Previously, if you cannot pay, then you wouldn't receive immediately your proof of birth. I don't agree with that policy. And that is against the human rights of the child, who has all the rights to be recognized, to be counted within society, within the government, to have identity, and we can go on and on. But just to use the example, currently you can walk into the Northern Regional as an expectant mother, have your baby, receive your proof of birth immediately, and be able to register your baby. And that is very important, because previously I think 9 out of 10 times why a child was not registered was the lack of the proof of birth, and it was because they were not able to make partial or full payment to the hospital. And so that has been one of we have removed one of the barriers for women in particular, and for young children. So you can see how the policy guides these types of initiatives, and how the government is working, very cohesively, and we're all working together to ensure that these things happen. So it's not only really within the Ministry of Human Development, Family Support, and Gender Affairs, although we do from time to time point out how certain things could better living conditions, how they can better circumstances for all women living in Belize. So we're guided by the gender policy, and we're very proud of a lot of the initiatives that have come forth.
In a male-dominated cabinet, what is your experience as a woman, one of only 2 in cabinet?
Well, my experience, to be honest, is at that level of great partnership. I think that my colleagues, and certainly everyone that sits in there, benefits greatly from a different perspective. Women in Belize live a different reality than men living in Belize. And so our lived experiences add that dimension when policies are being made. We don't always agree, I'll be honest about that. We don't always see things the same, but we shouldn't. And that's why diversity, that's why inclusion are important, because it gives you another point of view, another lived experience. And maybe, that's why we fight so hard for it. My other cabinet colleague, who's also a woman, Honorable Dolores Valderramos Garcia, who I wish to to publicly acknowledge for a lot of the work that she had done when she was the Minister of Human Development, because a lot of the things, a lot of the initiatives that when I first came in were only a continuation of work that she had already started. So we work very, very united. I want to say that I believe that they have benefited from our points of view, because a lot of the times you are working only from your vantage point, and having another vantage point certainly helps to see how some of these policies sometimes affect women differently, affect young girls differently, and so they're very cognizant of that fact, and we ensure that our point of view, even though we are a minority in cabinet, that our point of view gets across.
I just want to continue on that topic to ask, why do you think more men in politics are not stepping aside and making space for women?
Truthfully, why would they? I mean, if you have everything set up for you, why would you step aside? Why would anybody step aside?
Yeah, that's why I fight was so hard. I wanted to ask kind of a piggyback question on that one, because I know that the gender policies is dedicated to also acquire data on, you know, how it's going, women and girls in education, in businesses, in politics. Even though it's only been a few years, 2 years to be exact, that it's been implemented, have you received any sort of data to say why is it that girls aren't stepping in to positions of leadership, not just politics, but in other spaces, both private and in public sectors?
Well, I can tell you that from lived experience,
Sure.
Actually. I don't really need to see the statistics, but there are significant barriers to for women when we want to step into any space of leadership, whether that be at work or in politics. And the most productive years of a person's life are actually those childbearing years for women. And a lot of times we are expected, and we expect ourselves to take time off to rear children. Once you have that second child, it becomes cheaper and more logical for you to step out of the workforce in order to take care of your children. We don't have, for the most part, we don't have childcare in our country. There's no daycares, there's no centers where you can drop off your children for work and then pick them up later. And we are going to then speak about the fact that even when you pay somebody, for a lot of women, the cost is very, very, high, and it just doesn't make sense, and it's not standardized. It's asking the lady next door to watch your children for you, and then 3/4 of your salary goes there for childcare. Then you decide, well, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I would rather stay at home and take care of my children. So we have that, where we will speak about the fact that we work a 8 to 5 job, and then we come home. Every woman comes home that works outside of her home, comes home and does 5 hours every day, at least on average. Some do more, of basic home chores. We all live in the house, but the home chores fall almost exclusively to women. And when you do that, and when you're tired, you come home, you work some more, there is little time for anything else. But apart from that, I will tell you why women don't get into leadership positions, even politics. We do not mentor each other, and we do not get mentored by men. It's very rare that other men in leadership positions will look at a woman and say, you know what, she's good. Let me bring her under my wing and teach her and show her the ropes so that she can get better, so that she can lead. That's not going to happen. Even most politicians, and I'm talking across party lines, will mentor other men, and they will not mentor a woman. And so it's very difficult to break through. I'll tell you right now, if you look at the statistics for education, more women are in school, starting at secondary school level and tertiary. So we have women out here walking around with master's degrees, with bachelor's degrees. They are not in the workforce. Where are they? They're at home.
I wanted to jump into a particular part of your speech just now, when you were talking about women that are, child care providers and so forth, and just to ask a little bit more about that policy, because I read the policy extensively, and I really am curious to understand why there is no extension for maternity leave or paid maternity leave, because I feel like one of our bigger challenges is not just maternity leave for moms, but also paternity leaves as well. We kind of have a very unbalanced amount of time off for parents. And of course, if I could stay home with my child and still make my salary, I would do that for an extended period of time. Is there any sort of leeway for that sort of policy to change?
Well, you see, I totally agree with you, because there's disconnect, and that's a disconnect that we're trying to bridge when we talk about the gender policy and when you talk about my work as the minister. For example, for that to happen, and I totally agree that 14 weeks for maternity leave is nowhere near enough. Not when and that's what you get paid from Social Security.
Yeah.
But then you have the Ministry of Health and Wellness that's telling you that breast is best and you should feed breast to
6
your
months,
child exclusively for 1 year, and that's not going to make sense, because once you get back into work, and you're expected to take 7 weeks before the date of confinement and 7 weeks after, you're leaving your baby at 7 weeks. How are you going to breastfeed exclusively for a year? That's not going to happen. It doesn't happen, and I can tell you, I have 3 children. It doesn't happen. And so we have a disconnect. So if you want women to breastfeed for a year exclusively, you have to make it possible. You can't ask her to leave her child at 7 weeks. A lot of women, most women, will work up to when they're feeling labor pain, if possible.
Yes.
And then try to get the 14 weeks after, so you have a little bit more time with your child and to do these things that we know are good for children, that gives them the best start. And I do agree, we ask men to stay, to be present as fathers, and it's very important that they do. Especially, I was reading a study just now, I wish I could remember where I was reading it, that women in leadership positions, there was a correlation with them having a good relationship with their father. And so if we then want more women to lead, more women to step up, we need fathers in their lives. We need strong figures of power and authority to show them as well how it's done. But we don't get that because you have no paternal leave. And then how are they expected to bond with their children?
Yeah,
How are they expected to learn how to change a diaper, and they have to go to work. So I agree, but that would entail, for example, the Ministry of Labor, Social Security, and us working all together towards the same thing. And trust me, these discussions have been on the table at Cabinet. A lot of times when we see one policy or we see one initiative actually make it through, behind that there is a year at least of work with the people at the very technical level. And then we're talking about consultations and all of these things that need to happen before something like this is actually on the table and you see it happen. So just because you haven't seen it yet doesn't mean it's not happening.
All right, so Minister, finally, before we wrap up the conversation, speak a bit about your plans and your ministry's plans, perhaps one of the more bigger events or initiatives that you'd like to highlight, and then close off with a message to women for this month.
Well, one of the bigger initiatives and what's coming up, we're trying to make the timeline sometime this month because it's now a tradition that Honorable Dolores Valderramos Garcia started, and one which I believe is very key to present to the House an act or a revision that will directly impact women. So the one that we're hoping to, and if we can't make it because of the budget debate and all of these things that need to happen in March as well, we will certainly do it very, very soon after. And that would be the revision of the domestic violence bill, of gender, in terms of gender violence, gender-based violence, that will see a lot of things change in the sense that we work very closely with the judiciary. They have been very central to these revisions where we have magistrates and we have judges telling you, listen, what you want under the law now is not contemplated, so there's only so much we can do. And so the revisions actually are very good, they're very timely. They will include, for example, non-cohabitating partners within recognizing that gender-based violence happens, for example, during dating, and more we're seeing that. It's going to include provisions for cybercrime and stalking through the internet and electronically. We're seeing a lot of that, especially with AI coming on, where we're being informed that a lot of AI images with young girls especially, and nude pictures, which is just the manipulation of their face, probably put on using AI. And so a lot of these new things need to be contemplated within that act, and this is something that you will see soon come up. And this has been on the table, has gone back for revision, and now come back. Cabinet is just now taking a look at it. We're hoping for a timeline and an opportunity now to take that to the House to ensure that we keep current. But that is certainly one of the key things as we come and we revisit. One of the ones that just passed that was very, very necessary was the Justices of the Peace Amendment Act that will allow Justices of the Peace now to issue protection orders just for 72 hours and interim in those cases and in those places where there is not a magistrate's court available to issue the protection order, and that is just provisional until they can get to a magistrate and they can get to a court.
Wonderful.
So
Excellent.
some of those things, we are trying to be very proactive. We are trying to be very sensitive to what is happening,
Yes.
and ensure that we put those things in place. So
Okay.
those are things that have happened and very recently and will happen in just a few that I think that are very worthy to highlight just now.
And I imagine that this calendar is going to be on the Women's Commission Facebook page, the ministry's pages as well. I imagine if people want to learn more, they can head on over to those pages to find out more on the activities for this month.
Yes, I do wish that when we have consultations, we do our very best to travel the country in order for these consultations to occur, but that does not mean that you can't email in if you can't get to one of the physical face-to-face consultation processes. We still very much want people to engage, even if it's digitally, to
Virtually.
send us what they think. And a lot of organizations sometimes go to the consultations and then they go back, meet with their membership and write to us. And so in this particular instance, a lot of what we learned during consultation was then put forward in the bill. So we're very, very proud of that. But we need more people to engage and more people to participate.
Wonderful. Well, I know you probably will be coming down on the couch before the month ends because it is Women's Month after all. And so we look forward to hearing more about the activities and the achievements coming from your ministry and the Women's Commission. Thank you so much for being here with us this morning. The Honorable Thea Garcia-Ramirez. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, we are going to take a quick break. But before we go, we have our motivational quote. And our motivational quote goes like this. Today, I will do what others won't. So tomorrow, I can accomplish what others can't. And that is by Jerry Rice. I like that one.
I like that. It goes in line with the saying I have in my life. You say, do the things nobody wants to do so that you'll do the things nobody have done before. Or go places nobody wants to go so that you'll go places nobody has ever been before.
Love it. All right. We're going to take a quick break. When we return, a walk toward prevention with the Kidney Association of Belize.
For any project, big or small, Best Screws provide strength, efficiency, durability, and affordability. Get the screws specifically designed for your next project. Get Best Screw, the power to build, the strength to last. Available at Benny's, quality and savings.
The future is calling. Belize Bank. Your future, our commitment.
The NEBL is blazing hot and it's only week 3. And we have another set of marquee matchups this weekend. On Friday night, the Belmopan Trojans try to defend the capital city against the big bad Belize City Defenders at the UB Gymnasium, 8 p.m. Then on Saturday night, the red-hot Orange Walk Running Rebels takes on the sharp-shooting Cayo Western Ballers at the Orange Walk Sporting Complex at 8 p.m. And in Dangriga, the Dream Ballers host their first home game against the Warriors from the North, the Corazal Spartans at 8 p.m. Giveaways at all games at the end of the first and third quarter. Plus, the big halftime $5,000 cash Ministry of Tourism, Youth, Sports and Diaspora Relations Shooting Challenge. The NEBL Girls plus more. So this weekend, make it a NEBL weekend. Sponsored by the Government of Belize.
We at Fulltech Systems understand that technology isn't just a tool, it's a game changer. At home, smart devices and AI are revolutionizing daily life. In education, tech is making learning more interactive and accessible for students and educators alike. For businesses and government, it's driving innovation, streamlining operations, and unlocking growth, leveraging tech for better services, infrastructure, and security. At Full-Tech Systems, we help you thrive with cutting-edge solutions, partnering with leaders like Dell, HP, Microsoft, APC, Fortinet, Cisco, and Tomy 8. We deliver the right products for your needs, whether it's boosting efficiency, improving customer engagement, or scaling operations. Connect with us and let's drive innovation together. Full-Tech Systems, your technology center, where you come for the price, but stay for the service.
We are back with the Kidney Association of Belize, and they're here to talk to us about their annual kidney walk. It's Kidney Awareness Month. We have joining us in studio Elia Cho, and she is the president of the Kidney Association of Belize. Good morning.
Good morning.
Next to her, we have Natasha Gongora, who is the internal medicine and nephrologist. And we have Ms. Ruben Nicholas, who is the treasurer at the Kidney Association of Belize. Ladies, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Kidney health. I pee a lot. Is that good? Is that bad? I drink a lot of water. I try to stay hydrated. Yeah. Am I doing right by my kidneys by doing that?
Yes, definitely you are. So this year, the World Kidney Day will be celebrated on March 12th. Mm-hmm. So we have a theme, the World theme. So it's kidney health for all, caring for people, and protecting the planet. So as you know, globally, there is climate change. There's a lot of heat stress. People can get dehydrated very easily.
Especially in these months.
Yes, exactly. So we are promoting it's very important for us to drink plenty of fluids, water, especially if you're going to be out in the sun this weekend. There's, I believe, we will be having our kidney walk. Then there's Ruta Maya, so a lot of people will be out under the sun. So we're promoting lots of fluids, more than 2 liters for the day if possible.
More than 2 liters.
When you say fluids, you mean water, right?
Yes.
Because you'll have a lot of people drinking
and electrolytes.
Alcohol. How does overconsumption of alcohol in place of water, for example, during a long, hot day, affect your kidney?
It does because it can affect the pressure inside of the kidney, and then alcohol dehydrates you later on. So if you do it in excess the following day, the hangover can cause more kidney issues, what we call acute kidney injury. So the treatment there is electrolytes, lots of fluids, avoiding any over-the-counter drugs like ibuprofen, diclofenac. Those are, people would take for a headache, they would take
Tylenol.
Tylenol is not part of that group of medications, the NSAIDs, but we don't recommend it, especially if your body is already going through dehydration, and then that medication comes in and just affects the kidney even more. So we try to avoid over-the-counter painkillers in those cases.
That's a gem of a tip for people who have hangovers.
Yes. Well, they
coma,
want,
like we call it.
They want to cure the headache first, right? So they naturally go to like aspirin and these sort of medications that are not too good for you. But I ask in the general sense of how much to drink water a day. You said 2 liters, that's almost like half a gallon of water for the day. But do you drink half a gallon of water for the day?
I barely get in a bottle, like a liter sometimes, because I'm so busy, if I could admit.
But also, because I know I opened the statement with I pee a lot, but that wasn't in the sense of that's a bad thing. I drink a lot of water, and therefore I have to go to the bathroom, and that does annoy me. And so I think I decide not to drink water, because then I have all of this work that I have to do, and then I don't want to go to the bathroom every minute. But that's a good thing.
Yes, when you go to the bathroom, it's a sign of good kidney health. There are other symptoms that if you do urine a lot that we need to think of, like diabetes, for example. People with diabetes tend to go to the bathroom a little bit more often as well, mostly at nighttime. When they have a lot of sugar in their blood as well, that they tend to urine more often. So that also needs to be checked out with your general practitioner.
Now,
so everything is about
President Cho, this weekend we're holding kidney. My apologies, a kidney walk. Speak with us about that event and how is it being organized and what should participants know?
Like to add what my colleague said, every month we celebrate kidney month. The World Kidney Day is next week Thursday.
Okay.
And we have two major events for March, which is our annual kidney walk and our annual kidney fair. The kidney walk will take place this Saturday, March 7th, and it starts at 6 a.m. and we are inviting the general public. You don't have to be a member or a person diagnosed with any kidney disease, but you come and support. This is the time we increase our awareness.
What's the goal of this event?
The goal of this event is to emphasize the importance of taking care of your kidney. As what my colleague said, caring for people. We need to start to care for not just ourselves but for others. Be your brothers or sister keeper, not just in a sense of their movement but their well-being. Because you have to look at the infrastructure scope. How can I advise someone to seek medical access? You need to dialogue with us. You need to be involved in, not just for yourself but with community. So the kidney walk highlight the significance of the awareness, the importance of it. So by coming to the media, inviting the general public to participate in the walk is an emphasis that we do every year.
Good. So where will the event be held? I know you all have a route for this kidney walk. Tell us about that.
The kidney walk starts at the Marian Jones Stadium. It starts 6 a.m. and it will leave the Marian Stadium into Princess Margaret Drive, then into Newtown Barracks, then Marine Parade, then goes around the Memorial Park, the Taiwan Street, Court Street, and then back to the Marian Jones Stadium.
Okay. I know this is a fundraiser. Is there a registration fee, or how are you all fundraising for this event?
Yes, so what we're doing, we're promoting our t-shirts.
Yes, the ones on the screen right now.
Yeah, the ones on the screen. Purchasing that t-shirt is a form of fundraising for us because the profit from that t-shirt will allow us to do educational awareness. At the Marian Jones, we will start at 6, but we will also be there very early at 5 a.m. so that we can do our workout. Registration fee is at $2. We went a little bit up due to...
Oh, I leave it up?
Oh, a little bit up.
Everybody they charge for things these days, so don't worry about nothing.
Yes, so it's going to be $2 registration fee. We'll be taking down the names and your telephone number just for us to have a record of our numbers that we're going to be there. We're inviting everyone. So what we have also done was reached out to the organizations, asking them if they can buy t-shirts for their employees.
Nice.
So we have a few of our employees who will be out there representing their organization. As what the president and doctor is talking about, awareness, kidney disease. Doc will also concur that kidney disease is on the rise, so it's not slowing down. We want to bring the awareness. That walk that we do, we're trying to encourage those who are ill to, I know you'd say, oh, I'm sick, so I can't do anything. No, try to do a little bit of walking, because exercising is essential. Healthy eating is essential.
I wanted to, this is my final question, because I think that it's important for the public to understand how much you all help dialysis patients with like lupus and so forth that really need the Kidney Association. So this fundraiser isn't just for you all, but it is for you to, like you said, help other people. How much do you work with these patients?
Well, we have over 100 members, and there are about, I think, 94, 96 persons doing dialysis.
Wow.
And we have to bear in mind that dialysis is very expensive. One session is between $200 to $250.
Yeah.
And bear in mind, the nephrologist can go more in depth that when you do dialysis, it removes the blood and then remove all the waste, the toxins, and then the blood that goes back into your system is so clean that you need to put in additional vitamins and other supplements, right? And that is why it's not just the dialysis cost, but we assist with doing the lab works, we assist with doing the emergency surgery for the catheter and the fistula, and so those come with a high cost. So what we do is that we also do outreach, whereby we conduct screening. That comes with a cost. We have to buy the urinalysis strip for us to do the screening. We have to do the glucose. We have to purchase the glucose strips to do the glucose testing. So all of that comes with a cost. So when it's not just dialysis we focus on. So when we reach out to a family, it's not just the patient itself. And then sometimes the association at the end of the year do a package drive, a food pamper drive for some of the patients, because at the end of the year, when you look at and when you tally all the amount of funds that you have incur because of kidney, I think it's overwhelming, and we trying to assist in other areas is helpful and beneficial to the patient and their family.
So for next year registration, it'll be $5. Just
you're recommending.
Yes.
Doctora, how striking is the increase in kidney disease here in Belize?
Well, yes, worldwide, we're seeing it worldwide. Maybe on an average, we would start dialysis at KHMH on an average 8 to 10 patients per month. That's a lot, and we're seeing that it's affecting much younger patients. We have teenagers, we have 20-year-olds, we have people just starting to work. The workforce of Belize is getting affected. So it's no longer a disease that affects older patients in their 60s and their 70s. It's affecting younger and younger patients.
How do you, how do you begin to experience these sort of issues in your health?
Kidney disease is a silent killer, obviously. It does not come with any symptoms unless it's already very advanced. So we have 5 stages of chronic kidney disease. The first stage, well, you have a good percentage of kidney function, but you might only have 1 kidney, or you have a kidney stone or some cysts. But stage 5 is when patients have less than 15% of their kidney function, and then that's where you start having symptoms, where you start getting swelling, you start having itching of the skin, nausea, loss of appetite, patients just start losing weight. So those are signs that, we need to start dialysis on those patients.
So what leads to this? Is it a lifestyle? Is it genetics?
We have multiple causes. The number 1 and number 2 cause are diabetes and high blood pressure. So once you know you have those 2, and you need to do your yearly checkups for your kidneys.
So it's associated with other complications?
Yes, it's secondary to that.
Wow.
So if you have diabetes, high blood pressure, if you have obesity, if you know you're overweight, if you know that a relative of yours or a sibling of yours had kidney problems in the past, if you smoke as well, those are risk factors that you need to look into, and especially it affects mostly women as well. That's what we're seeing in women childbearing age. We see women during pregnancies who have high blood pressure or diabetes during their pregnancies. They're high risk population, so when they have their babies, they need to do their checkups as well. And unfortunately, the mommies don't come into their checkups. They stay home, they take care of the family. So it's affecting them. It's affecting people who are much lower socioeconomic class. They're poorer, they might not hydrate well. There is another disease called the chronic kidney disease of unknown etiology, which means that we don't know, they don't have any of those risk factors. And that affects a lot of cane farmers. In the north. So we're getting patients who have never had any other diseases, only the fact that they were cane farmers, were exposed to the heat, were exposed to pesticides, who were drinking painkillers, who have been taking Coke to hydrate because it feels like they're feeling better hydrated with that. So there are multiple causes for kidney disease, and that's why we need to aim to prevent it. And the only way to prevent it is by getting your checkups, going to do your doctor, drinking plenty of water. And that's the goal. That's the goal that we need to aim for, because dialysis is expensive. The carbon footprint that one hemodialysis session causes, it's like if you are driving a car for 240 kilometers. So imagine that's one dialysis, and we have over 100 patients on dialysis. There aren't enough dialysis centers in the country. We have patients from Corozal come all the way to the city to do dialysis. So imagine just transporting, just getting here also leaves a carbon footprint. So it's really something that we need to try avoiding. Hemodialysis is the only option we have, but at the end of the day, these patients need a kidney transplant. And that is much more eco-friendly than doing hemodialysis. So it's best we aim for getting our patients transplanted than keeping them on hemodialysis for the rest of their life.
Even that, you need to have a positive match for your kidney. So it's not just anybody can donate a kidney.
A willing donor, a healthy willing donor.
All right, so we've done some awareness. We've talked about the walk. As we wrap up, can you give us some details of the fair that's you have planned?
Health fair?
The health fair scheduled for next week, Friday. We have other health organizations that will participate, such as from Ministry of Health, NTAC, Cancer Society, Diabetes Association. All these health organizations will be there. We'll meet at one place so you can get a wealth of information about the different health issues that exist and what mechanism you can do to ensure that you take back these information to your family. Like what the doctor said, we need to embed the information to person so that they can do their annual checkup. Not because you look at someone, they look healthy, but no, you have to look at the internal part of yourself. And that is why when we ask person to come, we have free screening, free glucose testing, free. We will do the bone and the creatine test as well. So we will have doctors there. They will do a preliminary assessment of your glucose reading and your urinalysis screening. So you have an opportunity to speak with the doctor, and Dr. Gongora, she will be there. So anything pertaining kidney disease, or if you have a family member, you can come. You have access. So we make recommendation, we make referral to different specialists, because we have even if person male, if they have issue with their urine, we can recommend them to a urologist. So it's not just persons who feel like something is wrong with them, because like what doctor said, kidney is a silent killer. So you won't know. There are several Belizeans, and when we conduct our work talk and research and have dialogues with workplaces, we find out there are several persons who believe that they are working okay, but they don't realize how dehydrated their kidneys are in a cool working environment. And you're amazed at the age range. Young people, they are not aware that they already have higher blood pressure readings, glucose reading. So like what the doctor said, the high blood pressure and the diabetes are two leading factors to end-stage renal failure. So you have to put a system in place and see how you monitor, how you assess your health. So if you see symptoms, I mean, we ask you to look at it. Some people don't even look at the color of their urine, but that says a lot.
Yes, the paler, the more hydrated you are. Just saying, so what we're gathering here is you drink water and you don't hold in your pee, right? Thank you, ladies, so much for joining us this morning. We hope all the best for the fair and all the best for the walk. And registration fee? $5.
Next year.
Next year. All right. Thank you, ladies, so much. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, it's all about exploring Belizean sound with Ephrain Medina. Don't go away.
Fulltech Systems understand that technology isn't just a tool, it's a game changer. At home, smart devices and AI are revolutionizing daily life. In education, tech is making learning more interactive and accessible for students and educators alike. For businesses and government, it's driving innovation, streamlining operations, and unlocking growth, leveraging tech for better services, infrastructure, and security. At Fulltech Systems, we help you thrive with cutting-edge solutions, partnering with leaders like Dell, HP, Microsoft, APC, Fortinet, Cisco, and Tomy. We deliver the right products for your needs, whether it's boosting efficiency, improving customer engagement, or scaling operations. Connect with us and let's drive innovation together. Fulltech Systems, your technology center, where you come for the price, but stay for the service.
Man, that's me. My data don't, and I really need to get my order out today.
Really? Well, you can join our Smart Group plan.
Really? How that work?
Easy, let me tell you.
Whether it's family, friends, or your small business, we've got the perfect plan for every group. More members equals more savings, more connections. Smart Group plans bring the connectivity you love to you and your circle. No one gets left behind. Explore Share One package option and add on unlimited data, calls, and SMS for the entire group for less than $50 per member. Visit any Smart showroom countrywide or email sales@speednet-wireless.com to sign up today. Smart, bringing people together.
The future is calling. Belize Bank, your future.
Smart for everybody. Smart leading everything. Smart give you everything. Smart offer everything. Smart give you everything. North to the east and the south and the west. Smart are the best. Darling, double up my data and give me all the text. In fact, give me a plan for my family. Unlimited calls, so me like it. And Smart make everybody feel happy. Bringing people together, me want it now. Smart got love for everybody. Me want my Smart plan. Want it right now. Me want my Smart plan. Want it right now. More bundles, data plan. Me want my smartphone, internet in my hand. Cause me want my Smart plan. Want it right now.
Welcome back. Thanks for staying tuned with us. This is our third conversation, and for the next two conversations, we're going to be talking music, right? Music. And this one, we have a Belizean student all the way in Taiwan.
Yes.
And we have joining us Mr. Ephrain Medina. He is there studying IT, computers, technology.
And engineering.
Yeah. But he's also a musician, and he's sharing his passion for music and that Belizean sound with the diaspora. And so, Mr. Medina, it's a pleasure having you this morning.
Good morning. Or good evening.
The pleasure's all mine. Hi, guys.
Yes.
I think it's evening where you are, right?
Oh, it's well into the night. It's 10 p.m. right?
10 p.m.
10 p.m.
Wow, you should be in your bed, my brother.
Thank you so much for taking the time and joining us this morning, and well, in your case, tomorrow night, because it's already the next day.
So Mr. Medina, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you are taking the Belizean song to Taiwan.
Well, I'm 26 years old, studying here in Taiwan. Well, my music, I wouldn't say is very Belizean-esque. I try to put some stuff in there that come from my roots, but I'm trying to make it so that Belizean people know that they can pursue genres other than those that are popular in our country. For instance, I'm doing indie music, indie rock, indie pop, shoegaze, like heavier stuff, rock. And I think that we need a music scene for those genres in the country. And that's really what I want to push.
How popular is that sort of genre where you're studying right now?
Very popular. There's a ginormous indie shoegaze scene here in Taiwan. Just right there in Mexico, there's huge scene. So you guys wouldn't have to go far to find it. But here in Taiwan, it's really big.
Yeah. So what are you doing then to kind of make yourself known and expose your talent and your songs in Taiwan?
Well, for starters, I try to promote my music to the masses using social media. It's new to me trying to use the socials to promote my own things. And I try to send it back home to family and friends to share it all over the place. But here in Taiwan, going to the big cities and performing is quite easy since you can do open mics. So that's something I intend on doing some more as well.
Nice. Where did this inclination towards music come from for you?
Well, it started from a young age. I'm classically trained in various instruments, including the piano, the recorder, the violin, etc. And my mother was the one who pushed it, and I always had my family backing me. The Obandos, I don't know if you guys know any of the Obandos, but Amor Obando, I have my Juan Obando, Al Obando, all those guys who came up with the music influenced me to keep pursuing the music as well into adulthood. And then my other side of the family keep pushing me as well. So,
how are you able, since you're doing more of the techno degree, I would imagine that it does come in handy when it comes to perhaps mixing your music, finding new beats and so forth. How have you been able to do that?
Well, that's actually true. Sound engineering is really, really difficult. It's one of the hardest things I've had to learn by myself. But I don't use any samples. I create all my sounds by myself in here in my small apartment with various instruments. And it's really, really tough. But the IT side really helps out. Learning sound waves, learning how music just works sonically.
Yeah.
It really, really is a big help.
Wonderful.
What's the goal for you, Efrain?
I have a lot of goals. Right now, it's to be the biggest person from my genre from Belize. I really want to push so that a lot of people from Belize can start pursuing this genre. I know there's a lot of cover bands like Ascentium, Decibels, all these bands. But I need these guys to start making music as well. We need them to start making their own music and push it out. Because what's popular in the country is like dancehall, reggae. We have like guys like Stig. We have some rap with Shine. But we don't have anyone doing indie or shoegaze or anything like this. So I really need more people to start making music like this so we have an indie scene back home.
Are you pushing?
That's the big goal.
Are you pushing any of your songs and musics into the streaming world? You have Spotify, Apple Music, so forth, where we can find your songs?
So 2 weeks ago on February 13th, I released my debut album, mixed, mastered, recorded. I played all the instruments, everything by myself here in this small apartment with this USB mic as my recording instrument in this closet right next to me. So Yeah, it's out everywhere, all platforms. You can
What's the
find
name of it? What's the name?
My artist name is Duck.
Duck.
And
the name of the album, Goose?
No, the name of the album is Refrain. The meaning is the looping chorus in music, but it can also mean to stop. It has a lot to do with the album itself, which is about love and loss and the cycle of that going on over and over. I know everyone's been through it, so everyone can relate to one song at least in the album.
I have to ask, right? Because I cannot let you go without understanding why you have, because your name is so unique, and then you choose Duck as your stage name.
It's a funny story. So I've had I don't know if you guys know about this, but when you play games, you have to create like a name.
Username,
And when I was like 7 years old, I made my gamer tag moderately Duck. And since then it snowballed. My friends kept calling me Duck. And then I read a Japanese manga called Beck. And I liked the 4-letter name in there. So I switched it over to Duck.
Yeah, I personally think it's quite unique. I think it rolls off the tongue well. And I appreciate the name of your album as well, because it's also a play on your name, Efrain, right? So Refrain, Efrain.
Yes.
I think that's super creative of you. Now we're excited to listen to this album.
Yes.
In fact, we have to go and listen to these songs. And I want to congratulate you for your success, but more so for your drive to be able to produce an entire album in your closet, out of your school apartment, while studying. That's exceptional.
Yes, congratulations.
Yes, and you have your lovely guitar there with you. I would ask you to play something, but I don't think the audio will come out.
I don't want it to undo the justice that you've clearly done, and all the hard work and love that you put into your album. But Duck, Refrain. I absolutely love that. If you have any of these streaming platforms, go and search for it. I'm sure that the music is fantastic, and the music is nice, and it's very soulful. Do you have any other social media tags, YouTube, Instagram, that people can find you on?
I just opened an Instagram page for my music, actually. It's called Duck_BZE on Instagram. You can find me on TikTok. You can literally just type in Belizean indie artist. You'll find some gems in there, but I'm one of the few in there. So
beautiful. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Efrain, for taking the time. I'm losing a little bit of sleep, but we appreciated this conversation, and congratulations again on your album.
Thank you. The pleasure's all mine, guys. Thank you.
All right. We are gonna take another quick break, and so we're gonna be sticking to music, but more on the gospel side, as Belize Jesus Festival brings ministry through music.
Smart for everybody. Smart leading everything. Smart give you everything. Smart offer everything. Smart give you everything. North to the east and the south and the west. Smart are the best. Darling, double up my data and give me all the text. In fact, give me a plan for my family. Unlimited calls, so me like it. And Smart make everybody feel happy. Bringing people together, me want it now. Smart got love for everybody. Me want my Smart plan. Want it right now. Me want my Smart plan. Want it right now. More bundles, data plan. Me want my smartphone, internet in my hand. Cause me want my Smart plan. Want it right now. Smart. Stay connected. Stay happy.
come to this very nation.
In Isaiah 30:29 it says, and you will sing as on the night you celebrate a holy festival, and your hearts will rejoice. The body of Christ will unite, and many hearts will rejoice on the Saturday, March 7, 2026 at the Belize Civic Center, beginning at 6 p.m. as a Heavenly's Productions brings to you Jesus Festival.
Jesus Festival. Yeah, Jesus.
Featuring the hottest gospel artist coming out of the Bahamas, Sherwin Gardner.
So I say, with all of my heart and all of my soul, I worship you, O Jah. Tell them that the praises never stop. All I want to do is give you the highest praise.
Also showcasing one of the biggest gospel artists from out of Trinidad and Tobago, Positive, dropping his hit tunes.
Rolling in my two-man army, my Jesus and I wanna sing out some sweet gospel reggae. Blessing after blessing and nothing can hold it back.
And then it's the return of the biggest gospel band in Belize, Heavenly.
I'm gonna be heavenly's for life, serving Jesus Christ.
And all the way from Atlanta, Georgia, USA, the daughter of the world-famous televangelist Creflo Dollar, none other than Jordan Dollar, with her hit song. Also highlighting Genesis 501 from Capital City, Belmopan. Blind Sight, Genesis Gospel Band from Sugar City, Orange Walk. Reality Youth, Pastor Herman Belize and the Kings Park Prince team. Pastor Frederick Gordon and Garin Carvalho and his GCO group. Remember, Jesus Festival.
Jesus Festival. Yeah, Jesus. Rocking on the world.
Taking place Saturday, March 7, Belize Civic Center from 6 p.m. until. Bring out the entire family for a time of praising God and witnessing souls being saved and lives being recommitted to God. For tickets, call 615-4766. That's 615-4766. Sponsors: Angela's Press, Racina's Imports, Cellular World, Love FM, More FM, Quem Radio, Vibes Radio, Plus TV, Channel 7, Channel 5, and Wave Radio. Come on out and be blessed.
Jesus Festival. Yeah, Jesus.
Welcome back. Thanks for staying tuned with us. This is our fourth and final conversation for this morning, and it's a big one. We have joining us on set several artists. In fact, Alan and Balia, the artists in their own right. And then we got one with also a promoter, said we're two hats. So we're going to start with Mr. Gilbert Gordon, promoter and performer for Heavenlies, right? And then we have beside him Mr. Herman Belize, who's an artist and a musician. And then Garin Carballo, who is also a musical artist. And last but certainly not least, the man himself, Mr. Sherwin Gardner. Needs no introduction, right? And they are here to promote and speak a bit about the upcoming Jesus Festival. That's going down on March 7th. Inside the Belize City Civic Center. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Belize.
Yes, it's a pleasure having all of you.
It's a pleasure.
Strong men, a lot of energy, a lot of vibes, and of course a lot of talent here on set this morning, right? We'll give each one a mic on the start, spit it right now, right? Mr. Gordon, speak a bit about the organization of this event and why you saw it fit to host something like this.
Jesus Festival was birthed late last year. Normally we would have gospel concert, I would say like about 20 years ago. And gospel concert used to be an integral part of Belize's community, where we see our social fabric is deteriorating at this point in time. And gospel music is always an avenue to reach out to young people. That was what transformed me when I was 12 years old when I gave my life to Christ. Because of music. Music is a powerful tool. Yes, we have pastors preaching on the pulpit, but music is a powerful tool and it can reach out to you. And so for me, I'm a living testimony of it, whereby my life was transformed in respect to music and writing of music and putting it pen to paper through the grace of God. And so with that background of what God brought me through that level in respect to train up a child in the way he or she should grow, that they may not depart from the faith. That was what kept me, and that's what have me here right now, serving God. And so when late last year, when we spoke about the Jesus Festival, I was like, this used to be something that young people used to look forward to. And so if you look at our prices for the event, the primary schoolers are going to be for free because I want them to come. I want them to experience some of the same thing that I experienced serving God, because when they grow up, they're not going to depart from that faith. And so the festival is geared towards a family-oriented event. And so when that was birthed last year, I was like, man, my brethren, sure, when he came here about 20 years ago, he was the main part of the Heavenly's Gospel Band in respect to our ministry, in respect to our album, and building our album. In fact, that album was nominated for a Martin Awards in the Bahamas and all that. And so I spoke to him and I said, listen, Belize needs something like this. The society needs something whereby we could reach out not just to the younger, but also to those who are going through transitional phases. And so the idea of the festival is for the entire country to come, from PG all the way to Corozal. Come to the festival, come and receive something from God, because we cannot just work and operate just by our own strength, but it has to be through the strength and the power of God. And so the festival is going to bring that, but it's two different genres of music. When we were talking about soca, reggae, dancehall, praise and worship, and also we're going to have a group that will be ministering in Spanish. So it's like for a different, for everybody to come and enjoy themselves.
And you have here on set one of the headliners, too humble to say that he's award-winning, multiple awards for the music.
19 albums.
19 albums. Listen, and you took the music scene by storm last year, I believe, with a viral hit song that has millions of views across several streaming platforms. And just to give them your respect, you know, some people
it reached billion. I think he said it's the billion now.
2.4 billion views.
2.4 billion views.
On TikTok, yeah.
That's the song is the title of the song.
Find Me Here.
Find Me Here. Something's good.
He was trying.
When we end the show, he's going to sing that for you.
So, but a lot of people may not know that you've basically made Belize a second home.
Yeah, man.
How long have you been coming here?
The first time would have been 2003. So it's been a while. I came back as well, did their album with them as well. And then I think a couple times after that I also came with YC.
YC Belize.
Yeah, YC Belize, yeah. So it's been some time.
How long YC?
Not only there, I've been San Pedro also. Michael area.
Yeah,
Riga, you know what I mean? So we also did something in the Belmopan as well too.
Yes.
So yeah, it's been quite some time, you know. They just give me a vehicle, so we can just drive around, you know what I mean? Yeah.
So speak up.
No, I was going to ask about inspiration of music because right before you guys came in, Paul and I were talking about how the gospel genre is a completely different beast, especially when it comes to the amount of tone that you have to put into your music.
Right.
And so I often wonder, especially for gospel artists, how do you balance the genre itself with your voice and your musical style?
For me, it's not necessarily, God already gave us the gift, right? So for me, I understand that from a little boy. I started at the age of 5, right? So this year is actually 42 years of ministry.
Give your age too.
I'm good. The reason why I'm good with giving my age is because at the end of the day, I'm still alive and I'm still able to do this and be relevant. You know, and that is an important thing because they have so many people fall off. But more than that, it starts with the fact that as a Christian, the aim is to make it to heaven, right? So put music aside, our goal is to live for Christ and to make it to heaven. But now bring the music in it. I know God gave me a gift. So for me, when I write, it is more, it starts on the knees. It don't start with just thinking about a viral song or thinking about doing something for people to jump to or anything like that. It's about blessing people. The times that we're living in, right, we sitting here, we laughing, we having fun, we talking about a show and we talking about people, but there's other people in the world right now who don't have this opportunity. They don't have that opportunity to smile. A lot of people crying and hurting, you know what I mean? So our music is there to connect with those people. I bring the piece that is relevant and point them to Christ, because I said yesterday, if I fall now with 2 billion views on TikTok, I'm going to bleed just like you. You know what I mean? We're all human beings and we all go through things. We all have testimonies. What we do is bring in those testimonies through music in a way that it could inspire and draw people closer to Christ. And this is a big thing that they are doing. I think it's needed in this time, and having myself and people like Positive and even Jordan Dollar, who's with us, she's a Grammy Award winning artist as well, is major, not just for the artists only, but for the nation of itself, because they get an opportunity to see there's a Caribbean boy who come from a small village that people say nothing good could have come out from, and now I have a song with 2 billion views, been traveling the world, blessing people, and it keep growing and building and building. We have new projects coming out, so and it helps them because I'm connected to these brothers, you know what I mean? We've been friends for a long time, you know. Indeed. So there's great talent in Belize as well. So even to bring back that talent and to bring these guys together with us is phenomenal.
Let's talk about some of the talent in Belize, right? I want to start with Garin. You are no stranger, you and Herman, no stranger to the music scene within the church. And so for you, speak a bit about how excited you are to participate in this event and to bring some of the songs that are well known to this platform.
Yeah, well, to me, Jesus Festival is a grand celebration as well. It's a festival, it's a feast, it's a place where where the masses will come and taste and see that God is good. And so I'm thrilled, I'm excited to be a part of what God is doing and what God's about to do at the festival. And so as a local artist, I'm just bringing my all, I'm just bringing everything, and my offering, will be laid out, and I know that lives will be changed, that lives will be touched, that lives will be blessed. And so that's the main thing, is to be a part of what God is doing in this nation. And I'm thankful for, for Jesus Festival. I'm thankful for Gilbert and the Heavenlies. I'm thankful for what God is doing with the artists, the local artists, and as well the international artists, because I know that it will be a time where, you will come expecting and you will leave receiving something. And so, it's really a grand time. And, like for me, my songs, like what Sharon said, is a testimony. It speaks from a place of breakthrough, a place of where God has brought me from. And so I believe that if God can do it for me, He can do it for someone else.
I think people who know that when you bust some of the soca tunes, energy.
But I love that there's so many different genres that will come out, because when you think about gospel music, you only think about one particular thing. So you have reggae, soca, Spanish music, and they're out there.
Well, I consider my brother Herman, and I know he's very diverse, but the African king.
Oh, yes.
Right? But the man very diverse, but when it comes to like shell down the place with any type of African worship.
So so there are no chairs and nobody has sit down, is what you're saying.
Well, hopefully not. But Herman, let's hear from you, my brother.
Yeah.
You've been in it for a while, you've been consistent, and you've consistently brought people to a place of worship and to a place of celebration. What does being a part of this music movement in the gospel scene in Belize mean to you?
Amen. Man, I always try to figure out, God, what is my main thing that you have called me to do? And as I've never thought I would ever play the drum at this level again, and Mr. Gordon brought me back out, and so but as the festival is here and it's right upon us. The excitement is growing, and I will say there is no hidden agenda. There's no financial gain. Like, it's all about what's on the shirt. It's all about bringing Christ to the nation. And in John 12 it says, when I be lifted up, I will draw all people to myself. And I'm like, just excited about the opportunity that we have. We've been so dormant as a Christian, I guess, musicians, and like, we do things small all around, but at this level we haven't really been doing it. And so I am more than excited. And you say I'm the African king.
Correct.
But I've written songs, and for some reason God has been using me to do more of the African stuff, right? And the praise and the worship, the Nara, the big God, all of those songs. I believe I'm more of a worshiper, but people just love when I sing tambir and all of the other
we
songs.
expect some of that for him. Try to show your face on Saturday.
Everybody look.
But you're right. I think that the nation isn't aware of how many gospel music singers we have, or people that sing this sort of genre. So, Mr. Gilbert, you've brought almost everyone to the fold, really.
And this came about late last year as well, when they had a we call it honorary presentation for gospel artists, and our group was invited by Celebrate Authors, and so we were there in that room, all of us, and I sat there and was like, man, we have a lot of gospel artists here, and the platform was not there for them to be able to minister at this level. And for me, when I rededicated my life to God, people were like, man, what are you going to do? What is your purpose? I don't need to ask what my purpose, because I know what God called me to do.
Right.
And so when God called to do something, it becomes so easy for you to do it. And so they're using the platform and the network, and then amalgamate that, align that with the arts that we have, and then with also my networking with Sherwin and with Papa San and with all these other artists, to be able to come in and for people to see Jesus music being pushed at this international level. That was how everything was birthed.
All right, so
give us
we're wrapping
the rundown,
up. So, yeah.
right? Give us a bit, briefly, the rundown of this event, the date again, the venue, and the ticket price.
All right, so it's going to be Jesus Festival, March 7th, Belize Civic Center. It starts at 6 p.m. We have 11 ministers. And we know when you have music from one minister to the next one, it's going to be a long night. So we say from 6 p.m. until God says so. So it's going to be a night of that. The tickets are available now at the Belize Civic Center from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. to get your tickets. We also have t-shirts for $10. These are festival t-shirts. It's in black, white, and also in blue. Ticket prices, primary schoolers are for free. Once you go to a primary school, 12 or less, you can come in for free. If you're a high school, it's $5. And if you're an adult, it's $15. And if you have a group of more than 25, it's $10 per ticket.
Okay, so that's a set price. So everybody that VIP at this event.
Everybody
that platinum there.
Because
the same in a one level.
That was key. They asked me that, and I said, no, I prefer it this way, because in the kingdom of God, we're all equal.
That's true.
Nobody is more important than the other. I don't want no.
Well, I mean, except the kids where they pay for free, then you can.
They're the VIPs.
All right, Paul. But they're not working.
All right, so make we wrap it up. I really want to get the wrap up for each one of them from the mind, right? But I want to start with Mr. Gardner. Give her a lead.
Send off.
A lead send off with Find Me Here.
Yeah, definitely. But before I say that, I want to say to Belize in general, you know what I mean, and to the young people in particular, because a lot of young people right now finding themselves. If you have a friend, if you have somebody you know who've never experienced God before, never experienced a concert like this is the one to get them to. Sometimes people just need to experience it and they'll understand that there's impact through this. There's a lot of people who creative, a lot of artists. I live in the Bahamas. I all the music that I hear recorded everything that I do, even find me here, it was done right in the Bahamas, right in the Caribbean. And sometimes we think that there's boundaries or limits to what we can do. You know what I mean? The God that we serve is bigger than that. So you can be from Belize, Jamaica, Trinidad, where I was born, anywhere. Once you have a purpose and you stick to that purpose, you'll know that something good is gonna happen in this year. And I am grateful that I made it here. Yesterday's gone and a new day has appeared. And Belize, we're grateful that we made it here. Cause we say blessings gonna find me here. Say, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I me say favor gonna find me here. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Tell them say good things will find you here. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I me say blessings gonna find you here. So show up there.
Yes,
sir.
Our producer is telling us we could only take one. We'll take that one.
They made a melody. It's okay.
Yeah.
They were melodying. It's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
Harmonizing. It's good.
Yeah, all right, good. Well, gentlemen, thank you all so much for joining us on an exciting event.
Just want them to know that we're giving away this for everybody that comes out.
Oh, nice.
Your festival band.
Yeah.
And also we have the rugs, 500 rugs.
Everybody
I think about 14 or 18 because I would probably give away about 20 already.
All right, gentlemen. Thank you all so much.
All right, and we want to say a big thank you to everyone that dropped by, had the conversation with us, and a big thank you to you, our viewers, for starting your morning here on Open Your Eyes. It is March 5th. 5th. If it is your birthday today, happy birthday to you. And if you have a birthday shout out or just a question or a comment, you can drop us a line here. That's oye@greaterbelize.com.
You can also catch us live on Facebook every weekday morning at Open Your Eyes BZ. You can also catch the behind the scenes and all the highlights on Instagram at OYE Belize, and we even have TikTok. You know, we start our morning lives with TikTok, so you could follow us over there at Open Your Eyes BZ.
Okay. We also have a number, so you can call us and text us at 675-2555. But please join us again for What the Friday when you open your eyes.
And start your morning right.
Till then, keep your eyes, your minds,
and your hearts open.
We'll see you soon, Belize. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Goodbye.
Open Your Eyes was brought to you by the Belize Bank, our country, your bank, and Smart, bringing people together.